All right, so today I am teaching you how to write a summary of a story. So the first step of writing the summary is to plan your writing. Remember our writing process? You plan it. You decide what you want to say. And then you write your first draft. When you write your first draft, then you switch your hat. You switch your hat from the writer to the reader. You've written your first draft and now you are a reader. You will read your first draft and you will change your writing to make it better depending on what questions you might have as a reader. Then you will try to edit your writing and I'll help you with that process. And then finally you would publish it, right? Now, when you're summarizing fiction, there are steps to it, okay? So the first step is there has to be a character. Who are the characters in the Journey of Oliver Woodman's story? Who is the main character? What do they want? But why can't they get what they want? So why can't Tamika have her uncle visit? Why is it impossible? What makes it difficult? So how did the character deal with the conflict? Now, in this case, it wasn't Tamika that dealt with the conflict. In this case, what happened is Uncle Ray decided to make a wooden person for Tamika so Oliver can visit instead of him. And then what happens? How does the story end? Well, obviously, Oliver travels across the country, ends up in California, and then what does Tamika's family decide to do? They miss Uncle Ray, don't they? So they decided to go visit him. Now, when you telling the story and you are concerned about the beginning, the middle, and the end, you need to use the graphic organizer that is called a sequence chart. So for the beginning, you're going to tell me what did Tamika write in her letter to Uncle Ray? How did he respond? Now, of course, you're not going to say, Tamika wrote in her letter to Uncle Ray that she wants him to visit, because that's not the story. That's not how writers would begin, right? Writers would say, there was a little girl called Tamika and she lived in California. She missed her uncle, so she decided to write him a letter. Now, for the middle, you will tell me the details about how did Uncle Ray send Oliver to visit Tamika. And then you will give an example of one person Oliver meets during his journey. There were many people he met. And if you try to include all of the people, your writing would be very, very, very long, right? So I just want you to focus on one. So pick the character that you really liked. It could be the truck driver. It could be the three sisters that inherited money and went on a trip to California. It could be the lawyer that went camping and Oliver saved him from bears. Up to you. Just pick one person. And then at the end, how did Tamika's family feel when Oliver finally arrived in California? What did they decide to do? How were they going to send him home? Are they going to send him the same way? Or maybe there will be another way of sending him. Now, for the perfect beginning, what I want you to do is I want you to start your story using one of those three choices, okay? The first choice is you're going to start with a little girl called Tamika wrote a letter to her uncle in South Carolina. She said, blah, 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 blah. You're going to tell me what she said, right? Second option is The Journey of Oliver K. Woodman is a story of a wooden man's journey across the United States. It begins when Tamika from California writes a letter to her uncle in South Carolina, inviting him to visit her. And the third choice is Tamika missed her uncle, so she wrote a letter to him asking him to come visit her. Okay, up to you. So that is the beginning. I want you to, at the beginning of your writing, use one of those three. Okay? And after that, you're on your own, and I'll be there all throughout the process. So go on, writers.